Welcome to Fan Engagement. In this course, we're going to study a number of topics, but one of the things I want you to keep in mind is we're really thinking about consumer behavior. We're thinking about how fans are part of this ecosystem and what we can do to improve their situation. So this is eSports 410. There's a 14-week and a 7-week version of this course. My name is Professor Charles Palmer. I've created this course and I've been teaching it. I think this is the 3rd year, maybe the 4th year teaching this. If you need to get in touch with me, the best way to contact me is via Teams chat. And on the Canvas page, there is a link for my office hours. So you can just simply click on the bookings link and that'll take you to the available times I have. I have office hours every day for at least an hour. And you can use that as a tool for scheduling in 30-minute blocks. So before we get started talking about the course content, I want to give you a little bit about myself. I'm Professor Charles Palmer. I'm the program lead for interactive media, and I teach in 3 different programs, or 2 different programs outside of IMED. I've been teaching, as you can see there, for 35 years. The last 15 I've been here at HU. I've taught in each of those areas you'll see there, starting off in graphic and communication design. And as I said, now I'm in interactive media and esports. As you can see on the right, I have a large range of interests that coincidentally apply directly to my teaching career. They're not in the same order, but I do active work and research in AR and VR. 3D modeling and 3D printing, photography. I've taught that and been a photographer for a number of years. I spent some time working as a game designer and game developer, mostly in entertainment games. I'm really very interested in the idea of integrating technology, whether that's to fulfill minor tasks that you're working on, or to look at how it integrates across an enterprise, or even just games for teaching. I really just love these technologies. And currently, I'm finishing up a PhD in data science. I've written a couple books, as you can see there. And I also serve as an esports consultant on the senior leadership team for the Susquehanna Sonics, which you guys have probably heard about, and some of your other instructors are around, or been part of or work for the Sonics themselves. Outside of that, I've done software training. As I said, I mentioned educational games, a web developer. I've done a lot in the production space, being around motion graphic artists, as well as a video producer. I've done photography shows. I've done a bunch of things. And so I think of my interests and those other careers that I have all fed to my teaching engagements. So I like to go off and think about the things that I'm teaching and apply them to the real world and then bring the results back to the classroom. And so that's about me. If you could, you can pause here or go to Canvas at some time. And there is a discussion post where I want to learn a little bit more about you, but I don't want to learn it the generic way of tell me who you are. Instead, let's do 2 truths and a lie. If you go to Canvas, you'll see there's a post there, and you'll tell me 2 true things about yourselves, and you'll tell 1 lie, and then we'll see as a collective, each of us will log in and we'll add our own content, but then see if we can guess what the lie is for each person. And so for this class, some of the things you will need is obviously a computer. And since this is online, the expectation is that you'll be using that device to completely engage with the course content. You also need a PDF reader. Many of the documents that are being provided to you can be accessed through a PDF. You can use a browser, obviously, but a real PDF reader will give you additional access and additional functionality when conducting or working with those things. Word, Excel, PowerPoint. There are a number of other software tools that we are going to be used. Most of them are browser-based. So as long as you have a good web browser, as you can see the next thing on the list, you should be pretty good. And then having a mobile device is helpful for some of the testing that might go on. So as we start our journey through this course content, I want to get a little bit of information from you. If you go to Canvas, there's a discussion post called Course Expectations. And if you could just reply to that post, what I want to find out is, what do you want to get out of this class? What are your specific goals? How do you think you might use the knowledge that you would gain from this class? And are there any particular aspects of this course that you are really eager to explore? There's no grade for this, but it's good for me to have an understanding of who you are and what you want to get out of this. So the content of this course, we need to think about, as I opened this up with, is who are the fans? What are they? What are their likes, their dislikes? What are the behaviors, and how can we use those behaviors to improve upon their experience? The field that we're going to be looking at covers a wide range of areas of focus, let's say. We'll have marketing and advertising. This involves sort of the strategic communication and the promotion that we'll use to retain fans. We have the psychology, where we look at understanding the motivations and behaviors, and even the emotional connections that fans might have. We'll look at the sociology, which is the area of study where we'll look at the social dynamics and the cultural aspects of fan communities, including the role of social identity, group behavior, and cultural trends in fan engagement. Apologies for my voice, it keeps coming in and out. Analytics will be a part of this, as we look at the use of data to help understand fan behavior, their preferences and their trends. We'll look at the rise of digital platforms and new technologies to help understand the role and the application of technology in the fan engagement cycle. We will look at business and management, which involves understanding the business strategies and the management practices that are involved in maintaining fan relationships, generating revenue from fan engagement, and managing fan communities. Then obviously sports and esports management will focus on how these are specialized areas or used to focus on the unique aspects of fan engagement, not just in esports, but also in sports overall. And we'll spend a good bit of time looking at the differences between those two modalities of sports. And then lastly, media studies. And this will involve the understanding the role of various media channels, television, radio, online, social media, in the whole fan engagement ecosystem. And really, we'll be looking at how fans interact with and consume media. So as you can see, this is really a comprehensive approach that we're going to be looking at. And as we look at it overall, here are some of the things that you are going to be thinking about. You will be looking at various research methodologies. We will use information gathering to help us understand it. I think we have 2, if not 3 guest speakers that we'll look at. These are folks who have come and visited us in the past and have been pre-recorded. If we could find a time when we were all available, I can invite another guest speaker out and we can hear them live, which I think will be helpful for you guys to be able to ask direct questions of our guests and sort of industry experts and thought leaders. We'll do a little bit of data collection because of the asynchronous methods that we're doing here. It'll be a little different, but we will be looking at data collection and how do we visualize that. You'll have an opportunity to reflect on what we're studying, and then you'll have a final presentation of a project in this course. There is a course or a book for this course, Introduction to Consumer Behavior. It's actually provided through the Open Ed resources, so it's completely free. We're not going to be looking at all the chapters because, as you can see the note there, this is not really a book about esports, and so we're going to cherry pick some of the various chapters in there. Don't quote me, but I think it's 6 chapters that we'll be looking at, and we're going to pull some of the information that we need. As we go through the semester, it is broken up into different modules. There's a module each week, plus a module 0, which is sort of an introduction. And we'll be looking at a structure for doing this where we'll look at defining fandom, researching the market, analyzing the data, and then we will be engaging then be designing engaging activities. Each one of those corresponds to some type of projects associated with them. Structurally, we're going to be looking at something called the double diamond model. This gives us the ability to diverge our thinking and then converge into a particular idea. So really during divergence, we considered a wide range of situations and we create various challenges or solutions for that. But then when we get to convergence, we want to narrow down into one particular point of view or one particular decision. We'll go through this in a number of different ways. If I chart out the semester, it sort of aligns like this, right? So in the previous semester, the previous slide, we looked at these, and this is roughly how we will go throughout this semester, where module 1 is about surveying, module 2, and you can see the rest of the list down here as we go forward throughout the semester. This is generalized. I made some diverging here and we added some additional content here, but overall, these are some of the topics that we'll be discussing. By the end of this class, you're going to be proposing a project idea. You're going to build a prototype. We're going to demonstrate that prototype, but you're pitching this idea. The concept is pretty simple. We want to look at how do we improve engagement? How do we enhance engagement, bolster brand recognition, and foster a sense of loyalty in our customers through a tool or device? In this particular case, we're going to use Twitch as our platform of choice, and you're going to be designing an extension for an esports activity that would be broadcast in Twitch. I don't know if you're using Twitch right now. You should be. I assume you are. And many of the communities or the broadcasters have some type of extension involved. Just recently I saw watching some Baldur's Gate stream, and there was an extension where you can review the party, right, that the player was, or that the host was using through their playthrough. And I'm sure there are a bunch of examples out there. I know there are examples out there. And so we're not going to be creating that. What we are going to be doing is building a prototype that is specifically geared at the esports fan. So we're going to talk about this throughout the course of the semester, but it's sometimes good to know upfront why we're studying this area and how we're going to be applying it. So I have some expectations of you as well, and let's dig in a little deeper to look at how this course will be run, some of the things you need to take into consideration, and how it's managed. You're at the heart of your learning journey, and this course, actually all of the 7-week courses, are really heavy on responsibility of the students themselves. It's your responsibility to complete all of the coursework. That includes the assignments, the readings, watching videos, taking notes, and then reflecting on them so that you can answer some of the reflection questions. All of these are extremely important. The other side is you need to really think about the time that you're dedicating to this course. I personally would suggest blocking off huge blocks of time where you can spend either actively engaged in the assignments themselves or reflecting on the topics that we are discussing. And so you can see here, if you want to receive at least a minimum of a grade, you should be expected to spend between 8 and 16 hours a week. The more time you invest in this course, the better you will be at developing your final project, and the more informative you will be in this area of fan engagement. And because this is a 7-week course, your attendance in class is required. We don't have any synchronous content in this course unless we can figure something out with a guest speaker. But you need to really be involved in the active involvement and timely submission of your assignments. Many of the assignments build upon one or the other as we're getting towards developing our final project. In week 2, we have the first step of that. And if you get behind, it actually makes it difficult for you to catch up. So I urge you to think about setting aside that time, going ahead and using that time to complete the assignments. It will be very challenging for you to catch up to the final project if you end up a week or two, especially if you end up with 2 weeks behind. It's going to be very challenging for you to keep up. To help you along this fact, we do have a grading policy in this course. So there are a wide variety of activities that you will be engaged with. I believe it's just the first 4 modules. There are chapter readings that you'll have to accomplish. So you'll do those readings. There's a number of individual assignments, but then there are assignments that build upon to develop your final project presentation. And then there are activities that are centered around participation. Sometimes they're discussion forums, but I'll be honest, I don't think that's the best way for you guys to interact with each other. But we have just a variety of activities that I will be used to assess your participation in the course itself. All of these assignments and activities are done through Canvas, and they all have associated due dates, which are strictly enforced. Only a few of them have cutoff dates, but they all have due dates. But I completely understand. There will be times when you expected to get something done on Monday and life got in the way and you didn't get to it till Tuesday. And so in Canvas, we have an automated system that deducts points for lateness. And so you can see here, for every day an assignment is late, it's going to deduct a total of 25% of the points off of the top of that assignment. So it behooves you to get things in on time. If they are late, still go ahead and turn them in. I honestly would say no more than 24 hours, but if things do happen, gaining points and gaining feedback are more important than not submitting an assignment at all. And so this is the policies that we have that we're setting up for the course to keep you on track, but also to show you the importance of sticking to a schedule. And so as we finish up here, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Teams through the course's team site. You can send me an email, but I'll be very honest. I get probably 60 or 70 emails a day. And sometimes it's not until late in the night when I can have the time to go through and respond to all the emails. If you send it to me on Teams, I get it on my phone, I get it on my desktop, especially when it's just a quick message, I can give you a quick response back. So feel free to reach out to me for those questions. If you don't hear from me in 24 hours, just ping me again and I will get to you. All right, so I hope that gives you a good introduction, a level 0 to this course. Looking forward to seeing the work that you're able to produce. Looking forward to hear your thought process through going through some of the readings. I'm really looking forward to see how you engage in this particular course. Good luck.